as this massive animal moves his way around. He's going to slowly poke his head back out there, which is always a pretty cool thing to see. Yeah, where was I? Yeah, those freshwater crocodiles that you'll find over there, you'll notice they're about 2.5 meters long. They all weigh in between about 50 to 80 kilograms. Now to put that into perspective, Goliath, there we go, he's popping his head up right now. He's actually 5 meters long and weighs approximately 700 kilograms. He is one enormous reptile. Now he's actually a little over 60 at the moment, and these guys can potentially live until 100. So he's got a few more decades of growing to do, which is pretty hard to believe. On the other hand, this girlfriend next to him, you can see she's a lot smaller, that's Matilda. And she's actually also in her 60s. And the reason she's a lot smaller is it is only the male crocodiles that will continue to grow out throughout their entire life. Females, they tend to reach a certain size and don't get too much larger than that. She's still pretty hefty though, about 2.5 meters in length, so similar to probably our biggest freshie, but she still weighs in at about 250 kilos, which makes her more than double the weight of one of our freshwater crocodiles. Now, as you can probably imagine, because of their difference in size, they do have a difference in diet. So those freshwater crocs, they eat things like fish, crustaceans, generally nothing too much larger than a small water bird. On the other hand, a crocodile Goliath size will eat anything from a small water bird all the way up to a 500 kilo water buffalo. So that is what happens up in the Northern Territory where you get big crocs, big buffaloes. If a 500 kilo animal wanders a bit too close to that water's edge, crocodile Goliath size has the power to take that animal down. And if you look at us humans here today, we are definitely smaller than a buffalo. So if we give them that opportunity, we could potentially take a nice tasty snack for them. Now, that said, the media are often out there. They're painting a horrible picture of our crocodiles. They're made out to be these vicious, man-freaking killers, and that's really not true at all. So first of all, these crocs were here long before us humans ever were. Secondly, they're important to the ecosystems that they live in. And as well as that, they're what we call opportunistic predators. So being an opportunistic predator basically means they eat whatever opportunity presents itself to them. Crocodiles are never after people in particular. In fact, crocodiles are really great at not discriminating. So they don't actually care if it's a bird, a buffalo, a wallaby, or if it happens to be a person. If that piece of meat is wandering too close to the water's edge, then you're offering up that opportunity to be food. And at the end of the day, that means it's up to us humans. So being people, hopefully we know a little bit better if we are ever up in crocodile country. So generally speaking, that's north of Rockhampton, so far north Queensland, Northern Territory, part of WA as well. In any of those areas, there are 3 very basic things that you can do to keep yourselves safe. So the first one is just to pay attention to signs. We have one down there on the tree here. They're definitely not just towel wraps. They could potentially save your life. Please don't hang your towels over them and go for a swim. So pay attention to those. The next thing is to listen to your locals. Hopefully they've got a little bit of a better idea of the area than you might. And the final thing I do need to mention is the name saltwater crocodile is a little bit misleading. These guys can also be found in freshwater. So if you're in crocodile country and you are not 100% sure that the water is safe, even if it's salt or fresh water, just stay nice and clear, away from the water's edge. Use your hotel pool if you're lucky enough to have one, and that way, not only are you protecting yourselves, but you're also protecting our crocodiles. Because let's face it, every time people get hurt by animals, the media really love to write about what a scary, dangerous animal it is, when it was usually us humans doing the wrong thing in the first place. Now, not only are these guys opportunistic predators, they're also known as ambush predators. And what this part means is they're not going to go wandering long distances into our towns looking for people to eat. In fact, they don't really like running very long at all. They pretty much like to do exactly what they are doing now, which is lying in wait for that surprise attack or that ambush. Now this water is fairly clear so you can see our crocodiles, but if you can imagine up north, murky old billabongs, debris floating on top, really easy to miss just that head poking out of the water. And if you do have a closer look at that head right on the end of their snout, you'll see that little raised disc. So that disc is where their nostrils are, which means if right now Goliath and Matilda wanted to lower their heads even further to conceal themselves, they could still continue to breathe. You can obviously see the eyes on the side of the head. Behind those eyes, there's diagonal slits, not the big bump, but the little diagonal slits there. Those are the croc's ears. Now, as these guys swim through the water, they can actually close their nostrils, they can close their ear holes, they even have a special flap at the back of their throat that they can close up. Which means these guys can swim through the water, mouth open, ready to chomp down if they want to, without even worrying about water accidentally going the wrong way down their throat. So really specialized creatures. And I already talked about that third eyelid that acts like a pair of goggles when they swim underwater as well. Now, even if the water is so murky that these crocs can't see their way through that water with their little eyelids, they can actually still feel their way around. So on each one of their scales, a little bit for you guys to see at the moment, but later on when they're basking on the sand, have a look if you can. On each one of their scales, some tiny little dark dots. Now these are known as dermal pressure receptors. You can call them DPRs for short. Basically, these tiny little dots have been found to have fingertip sensitivity, and they can feel tiny vibrations through the water quite large distances away. I kind of like to think about it as if us humans were walking through a dark room, feeling our way around with our fingertips. These guys have that kind of sensitivity all over their body on each scale, so they can certainly feel things going on around them, fish swimming past them, really specialized creatures under the water. Here comes Matilda to pop her head up now. You might be able to see some of those teeth on the side of her mouth there. Yeah, pretty impressive teeth. These teeth, despite having all those teeth, they don't actually chew their food. They like to swallow their food in bite-sized chunks. So if they do happen to grab onto food that's a bit too big for them to swallow whole, they'll do their famous crocodile roll. So that's when they latch on, throw their weight in a rolling motion, effectively tearing that food up into bite-sized chunks. Now sometimes, not always, but sometimes during that process, a little bit of meat can be thrown around. These other native wildlife can actually take advantage of that natural behaviour. So that's one tiny reason these guys are important to the ecosystem. I'll talk about a few others a little bit later. One more thing about these teeth before you do see them in action is that us humans, as we know, we only get 2 sets of teeth. Crocs will get several. So anytime they need to, they will just lose an old tooth and grow a new one right back, over and over again throughout their life. So they've always got a fresh new set of beautiful chompers. So really amazing animals. And I won't keep you waiting too much longer. Once these guys are ready to feed, we will get these crocodiles and show you them in action. Alright, so let's see some of those teeth in action. If these guys are ready to eat, there we go. And we've got
ready, Bob?
See? Yeah, there we go. All the way over from the UK. Don't get many crocs up there. And luckily for us here on the Gold Coast, we don't get too many crocs here either. Luckily, I don't know. We make sure we keep our crocodiles comfortable by regulating this water temperature throughout the year, and they actually have an additional peak pad under the sand there as well. These are our last few crocodile encounters this week that we're doing. After Sunday, it's going to start getting a little bit cooler. The crocs are going to show a little bit less interest, so that's why we won't feed them as much. Looks like Matilda's gone under the tree. She can't hear a thing because it is closed. Alright, there we go. Just pop their head out. Just going to get a bit of the chicken. Get a bit of chicken first.
Matilda.
There we go. That was a great big jump, Matilda.
Here comes big boy. Look at him.
Alright, Goliath, come on.
Alright, so I've got Ty feeding the lion.
I'll be scared.
Oh my God.
He's looking pretty keen. It's going to happen pretty quickly, I think, guys. So get your cameras ready. Here we go. Beautiful!
Did you hear it? It's chilling.
Great job for not using that pole. Perfect. Textbook speed.
Have more drink.
Alrighty, and we have Nathan up next. Woo! Woo, yeah! Alright, now Crocs look pretty hungry for their next meal.
Look at his mouth open, babe.
These guys are actually a boyfriend and girlfriend. You can see the line so much larger than he's very sweet. She literally just fell onto his mouth or his face there, and he just tolerates it, and he's a sweet boy.
Goliath, come on.
Oh, he's huge, babe. Here he comes.
But crocodiles in their prime, or female crocodiles, again, ready to go. Great! I tell you, like, you hear that big pop when he bites down as well, but it is super impressive.
Yeah, there's one.
Crocs in action earlier, he's about 700 kilos, and he gets so much of his body out of the water without so much as a runner. we'll loop up next. Just gonna wait a moment for this tiger to come around.
Here.
Oh, there you are. Oh, excellent. All right, so it's ready to take photos. Next time. All right, yeah, we're ready to meet. So, photographer, and on the light set, on the routine now.
Right,
And
Goliath.
Goliath gonna get a piece of fish. Lucky Goliath. Alright, and I can tell you, standing up there and seeing those
Goliath,
balls
come on.
come at you is a really different experience. In a good way. Exciting every time.
Goliath.
Alright, just use that.
Goliath, come on.
Here we go! Oh no! Oh, they crossed with each other. He's got in the way of it. His fish has gone off to the side. Matilda might duck under here. You might see her head just kind of tilt over to the side and grab that fish. I guess they're not in the mood for fish today. Alright guys, we have one more piece.
Saludes mis amigos, bendiciones. Aquí estaba en este show, por eso no le había contestado. Gracias.
Alright, that's
Gracias.
it for the feed today, folks. Thanks for coming along. I'll quickly talk about. One more, guys. One more piece of chicken.
Gracias mis amigos.
For Goliath.
Laurita, saludes. Ahí la vi, pero no le pude contestar, pues estaba en medio de toda la gente. Saludes Laurita, saludes a nuestro amigo Luis Martínez. Thank you, my dear. Rose Aniceto, Miss Mary, thank you. Gracias, gracias, bendiciones. Saludes, saludes. Saludes mis amigos, ¿cómo están? Bendiciones, ahí les quería poner el show de los cocodrilos. Aquí andábamos, pero está haciendo un gran solazo, por eso me quité de ahí. Saludes Laurita. Saludes mis amigos. Gracias por su apoyo. Cuídense. Dios me lo bendiga. Thank you everybody. Thank you for your support. See you next time. God bless you. Dios me los bendiga a cada uno. Gracias por su apoyo, mis amigos. Gracias por sus comentarios. Pues aquí andamos venimos al show de los cocodrilos. Y voy a poner aquí para. Aquí andamos, miren.
Hello. Hi everyone from Dreamwood this afternoon.
Saludos,
How are you, my
mis
friends?
amigos.
How is everyone? Is enjoying here on Dreamwood?
Laurita llegó, Luis Martínez.
Ok, saludos amigos, hermanos.
Bendiciones,
Bendiciones.
ahí les escribo luego. Gracias por sus mensajes. Pasen feliz noche, mis amigos.
Yo no pude salir en vivo en Guanakita. Algo me pasó.
Así que ahí estamos. Miren mi sombrero, qué chistoso. A mí no me gustan los sombreros, pero con este gran sol sí que me toca ponerme. Así que saludes. Bendiciones. Aquí andamos.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Thank you for watching. See you
Bye,
next
Guanaquito.
time. Somewhere in Gold Coast.
Bye bye. Hasta pronto, mis amigos.